It's time to check your money with America's money maven, Vicki Brackens. Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. Vicki, I'm just going to start with, so you can get this out the way. The countdown continues.
The countdown continues for sure. Okay, you know what? Last week we talked about the fact that tomorrow was the first day to start your that you could start filing your taxes for 2023. And as I was finishing, I remember that I probably forgot to remind some individuals of some things they needed to do, and one of them being this: did you forget your IRA?
Go ahead.
Did you forget your IRA contribution? And George, over and over we hear on news story after news story the fact that as Americans, as individuals, we are not saving enough for retirement. And I can remember, I'm gonna date myself here, back in the day when we were talking about $2,000 a year. Remember that? For your IRA contribution. And everybody thought that was a whole lot of money, and that was going to be enough to take us through from retirement until we left this earth. And every year, especially the last 10 years or so, the number has been creeping up and up and up as far as the IRA contribution amount, so that now this year's contribution amount has reached a total of, as far as your max contribution, $7,000 for 1 year contribution if you are under the age of 50, and $8,000 because you have what's called the catch-up provision available for individuals who are 50 or older. 50 or older. We know any of those people, George?
I kind of know some folks.
Okay, all right then. But here's the thing. Did you remember to make the contribution at the time that you filed your taxes, or before the end of the year? If you forgot, though, to get that in before the end of 2023, all is not lost.
There's hope.
There is hope, okay? Because you actually have until April 15th, or until you file your taxes, okay, as far as your contribution is concerned.
Right, you can't
so
file
we've got
after
some time.
Right, you can't do the IRA contribution for this year. If you've already filed your taxes, it'll go on for next year.
Exactly. But if you haven't filed already, you have up until April 15th when you do file. So anytime between now and then to make your contribution that will be applicable to 2023. Wow. So where am I going to find that money, George?
That's a good question.
Okay. All right. So if you haven't put that money aside, because it doesn't mean that you can't make an IRA contribution. I know a lot of times when I give the limits, individuals believe that that is what has to go in. It's anything between $1 and $7,000 or $8, depending on your age. But make a contribution if you have the funding to do so, because the more we put away long term, the compounding effect will prove to be a great benefit for you between now and the time that you retire, and throughout your retirement income years. But let's say you have extra money, George. What should you think about as far as your contribution, not only for 2023, but for 2024? Because if you have extra money, you can contribute your 2023 between now and April 15th, and your 2024. You just have to declare it properly when you file your taxes with your tax preparer, so that you get a double whammy. And why I want you to do it early in the year rather than wait, if possible, if you have it available, is again, time. Time is one of the most important components concerning growth of assets. So the earlier we make a contribution, the better off you could possibly be. But if you don't have the lump sum amount for last year, but you want to try and accumulate for this year, there's a strategy that you might want to consider. And that is the fact that technically you have 15 and a half months for your contribution to count for 2024, because you have from now until April 15th of the following year. And for those of you who happen to be 50 or older, I thought it would be nice for me to give you the exact amount per month that you need to contribute in order to hit that $8,000 figure. That's $524 a month.
Okay.
$524 a month. That would then equate to having your $8,000 available for the time period when you file your taxes on April 15th of next year. Now, it's important to understand those dates that I gave you, because if you file before that, you need to shorten the time period.
And I was going to say, because the 524 is assuming you're going from what period to what period? Holla at me.
From January 1.
Okay.
So January to April 15th.
To April 15th. That's the 524.
That's the 524.
Gotcha.
So if you say, well, I'm going to file my taxes in February, then you've got to go back and count the number of months and divide that into the 8,000.
So you can, but that's basically January 1st to April 15th, 524 a month.
A month, okay? Okay, 524 a month. So because that gives you that 15 and a half month period in order to take care of the contributions. Now, George, that's a lot of leeway. That's a lot of flexibility. And so I think that everyone who's really focused in on their retirement, especially folks 50 and older, who are trying to add more, this is a great opportunity to do some catch up. By the way, if you have a 401k, you can still contribute to an IRA. Why is that so important? You say, well, I got my money in my 401k. Some 401ks do not allow you to maximize the full federal deduction that's available, because if you're over 50 this year, you can actually contribute $30,500 to your 401k. But you might be tapped out because of the provisions of your individual employer plan. So if you're trying to get more money in, utilizing your IRA is a good way to do so. And these numbers also are also applicable to your Roth IRA contribution. So it's the same number as far as over 50 being $8,000 a year. But again, I want to emphasize, don't say I can't do it because I don't have 8,000. If you got 4,000, divide by the same time period. If you got 2,000 and you have it in lump sum, get it in early. But you need to save more for retirement. There is no doubt, based on the calculations that we're seeing and the longevity, and longevity is an important thing and a really good thing. Living longer, we just want to make sure we have enough money while we're living longer. All right, George, guess what?
What?
February 25th. Looking forward to seeing everybody. February 25th, we're going to have a great time. Looking forward to seeing everybody there at the Marriott downtown Syracuse. Please share and subscribe to this video podcast each week. If you have questions, give me a call at 315-930-4499 or reach us at info@brackensfsn.com, brackensfsn.com. And we're looking forward to seeing there on the 25th, Miss Andrea Stewart Cousins, Senate Majority Leader for New York, as she accepts our Community Service Award. George, I'll go ahead and say right now, our plate is full.
It is full because we're going to have the music of India Owens. And,
that's right.
And what's the name of the band?
The Cookout.
The Cookout. All right. And now we'll say, Vicki Brackens is the president of Brackens Financial Solutions Network, LLC, and a registered representative of LPL Financial, member SIPC. She is America's money maven.